to ensure beneficiation and to create jobs for our people. We won't be able to nationalize the Reserve Bank, so we can actually separate the Prudential Authority in order for us to issue licenses to black people. So we have black owners of banks. We can't effect those kind of changes until we change this constitution. We won't be able to institute reforms of water as long as the Irrigation Act of Apartheid is still active, and there are certain individuals that have still got controls of dams when water is it's supposed to be used for human sustainability. And yet they want to come and commercialize water. And when we take them to the courts as the government, guess what happens? There's a clause in the Constitution that protects them. No, there's a sunset clause, remember, that we signed, CODESA. And today, guess what? I'm protected. I can own a whole dam, and I don't care about the community over there. If the government wants water for these people, they must buy it through me. I'm telling you about a real life scenario in Jozini Dam. That's the reality. So how are you going to effect change when this particular individual, in actual fact, let's be honest, his ancestors were visitors here, but he owns a resource that is owned by the ancestors of this country, the black children people. But yet we have to be buying water from him? Doesn't make sense. So in order for us to effect the kind of change that we want in this country, we have to change the constitution first and foremost. So if you're going to come and have a discussion with us about a coalition, that's the first answer you must give. Secondly, you're asking me about the Cyril Ramaphosa ANC. We won't engage with the ANC of Cyril Ramaphosa. We can have a discussion with the ANC. But the ANC of Cyril Ramaphosa, how is that possible?
In reality, how does that work? Cyril Ramaphosa is the leader of the ANC.
We will not engage in a discussion with the ANC of Cyril Ramaphosa.
Which ANC?
The ANC of Cyril Ramaphosa. We can have a discussion with the ANC. We'll engage with the ANC, but not the ANC of Cyril Ramaphosa.
Which one are you going to?
Which the current ANC is under who?
So are you saying, as long as Cyril is the leader of the ANC,
we won't engage with the ANC of Cyril Ramaphosa. It's bought. The presidency was bought. It's a fact. So how are we going to engage the president who's a traitor who is bought?
The question is direct. It's saying as long as he's
and my response is direct.
You're not going to engage.
My response is direct. It's clear. We're not going to engage with the ANC of Cyril Ramaphosa.
Do you have such a shopping list?
We'll engage with the ANC. We'll have a discussion with them, but not the ANC of Cyril Ramaphosa.
I wanted to find out if you have a shopping list of political parties that you're willing to work with, and which political parties are no go for you.
Let's put it this way. We want to form a united front, and there's no doubt about that, right? And we'll find ourselves in that position at some point, naturally. But here's the criteria. Are you a patriotic? Are you a progressive? Do we share the same ideologies? Are we aligned in terms of policy? Those are going to be the deciding factors in terms of how we work. Otherwise, if we're not aligned in these, for the next 5 years, we won't be focusing on delivery. We'll be focusing on arguing on policy. And we can't afford that. We don't have the time or the luxury, and neither do our people, to be waiting around people having points of order in government. And that's why we actually wanted a two-thirds majority, so we don't have to be negotiating. But in any case, if we find ourselves in that situation, we'll deal with it.
Are you willing to be backbenchers in the KZN legislature if the DA, IFP and the ANC form a coalition?
How is that possible when you're going to hit 60%? I mean,
if you don't get 50%?
That's response. That would be a response in hypothetical terms. I'm not going to respond in hypothetical terms because based on what you're seeing on that board, that is far from reality.
Projections put you guys at 45%.
That's a projection.
When you said that you were going to talk with someone who is, only wants to change the constitution, do these changes also entail allowing Mr. Zuma to come back as a president? Is that a prerequisite?
Absolutely. Why not? I mean, we will decide at this point. We're quite confident that we are going to be the opposition against the ANC. Why not? I mean, like I told you, KZN alone is at least, right now probably about 60% of the VDs and the votes that have been counted. The other VDs have not been counted. We said the larger ones. Remember, KZN is 6 million, 5.5 million votes base. So when that comes in, that number is going to change. If you've noticed, the DA's numbers have slowed down. They're not growing. They've slowed down because all their smaller VDs have been exhausted. They don't have big VDs. They're not in the rural areas. That's why we say, how is it possible that they can call themselves Rescue South Africa as a party for all South Africans? Can't be. So that's the reality. The fact of the matter is we could be in a position very soon where we will make the determination who becomes president, and whoever becomes president will be told that you're going to give President Zuma a presidential pardon, and when he gives the presidential pardon, we'll bring President Zuma back in his National Assembly, put him back as president. Simple as that, before we even change the constitution.
To sum it up, you're made to request Ramaphosa out of the leadership of the ANC and President Zuma.
We will not engage with the ANC of Cyril Ramaphosa, we'll engage with the ANC.